Welcome to Healthify Hub. I am so glad you are here. And before we go any further, I want to ask you to do one small thing. Hit that subscribe button right now. I know, everyone says that, but here is why it actually matters for you personally. Everything on this channel is built around one goal, helping you feel better in your real everyday life. Not confusing medical talk, not things you need a prescription for. Real information, real routines, things you can actually do tonight in your bedroom with no equipment. If that is the kind of content you want more of, subscribe now and hit the bell so you never miss a video. It takes 2 seconds, and it means you will always have access to information that could actually help you. Okay, now let us get into this, because I have a lot to share with you, and every single minute of this video matters. Let us start with the question that brought you here. Why does neuropathy get so much worse at night? Because this is not in your imagination. This is not just you being more tired or more stressed after a long day. There are actual, specific, measurable things happening inside your body once the sun goes down. And when you understand them, everything starts to make more sense. So let us walk through this carefully, because understanding the why is the first step toward fixing it. Your body is an incredibly complex system, and your nervous system is one of the most sensitive parts of it. During the day, your brain is doing 100 things at once. You are talking to people, watching television, cooking dinner, driving somewhere, thinking about your grocery list. Your brain is processing an enormous amount of information every single second. And because of that, it actually filters out a lot of the nerve signals that are constantly coming in from your body. This is called sensory gating, and it is one of the most important things your brain does. It decides what is worth your attention and what can be quietly pushed to the background. Now here is where things get interesting. When you are lying in bed at night, in a quiet room, in the dark, with nothing else demanding your attention, that filtering drops almost completely. The noise that your brain was drowning out all day long is suddenly the loudest thing in the room. It is not that your nerves are suddenly sending stronger signals at night. The signal itself has not changed. What has changed is that your brain has nothing else to focus on. So those nerve signals that were always there, the burning, the tingling, the shooting pain, they are now front and center with nothing competing against them. This is one of the main reasons nighttime neuropathy feels so unbearable. And it is why even small changes to your bedtime environment can make a surprisingly big difference. But that is only the first reason. Let us talk about the second one, because this one involves a hormone that most people have heard of, but do not fully understand when it comes to nerve pain. That hormone is cortisol. Now, when most people hear the word cortisol, they think of stress. And yes, cortisol is your body's main stress hormone, but it does so much more than that. Cortisol is also one of your body's most powerful natural anti-inflammatory chemicals. It helps regulate how much inflammation you are experiencing at any given moment. And here is the important part. Cortisol follows a very specific daily rhythm. It peaks in the morning right after you wake up, which is part of why mornings feel more manageable for a lot of neuropathy sufferers. And then it drops steadily throughout the day, reaching its lowest point in the late evening and nighttime. So think about what that means for your nervous system. During the day, when cortisol is higher, it is naturally dampening some of the inflammation around your nerves. It is acting like a built-in buffer and natural volume control for pain signals. But at night, when cortisol falls to its lowest point, that buffer disappears. The same nerve signal that felt uncomfortable at 2 in the afternoon can feel genuinely unbearable at 2 in the morning. Not because anything structurally has changed, but because your body's natural defense against that signal has gone quiet for the night. This is not a design flaw. This is your body's normal rhythm. But for people living with neuropathy, this rhythm has very real consequences. And knowing about it means you can actually work with your body's natural cycle instead of fighting against it. Now let us talk about the third reason, because this one surprised a lot of people when they first hear it. And it is actually connected to something your body does automatically, something that is completely healthy and normal in most people, but causes significant problems for people with nerve damage. When you lie down to sleep, your body goes through a natural temperature regulation process. Your core body temperature actually drops slightly, which is part of what triggers sleepiness and helps you fall asleep. but at the same time, your body pushes warmth outward toward your extremities. Your hands and feet receive more blood flow at night as part of this thermal regulation process. For someone with healthy nerves, this is completely unnoticeable. More blood flow to the feet is generally a good thing. It means better circulation, better tissue repair, better everything. But for someone with damaged or sensitized nerves, that increase in warmth and blood flow to the feet is like turning up the volume on an already distorted speaker. The nerves in your feet, which are already irritated and already prone to misfiring, now have more warmth, slightly more swelling, and more stimulation to deal with. And they respond the only way they know how. They fire. They send signals. They scream. That is the burning sensation. That is why it happens. That is why it is so specific to the nighttime hours. So when you put all three of these things together, the loss of distraction, the drop in cortisol, and the temperature shift to your extremities, you have a perfect storm of factors that all converge at exactly the moment you are trying to rest. No wonder sleep feels impossible. No wonder you are reading this at an hour when everyone else seems to be peacefully asleep. And no wonder you have been searching for answers. Here is what I want you to hold on to as we move forward. None of this is happening to you randomly. None of this is your body betraying you for no reason. These are specific, understandable biological processes. And specific, understandable biological processes can be addressed with specific, understandable strategies. That is exactly what I am going to share with you now. A complete pre-bedtime routine that targets all three of these issues directly. Every single step of this routine has a purpose. Every movement, every position, every timing choice is designed to work with your body's natural processes rather than against them. Before I get into the routine, I want to say something important. If your symptoms have suddenly gotten significantly worse, not gradually over weeks or months, but suddenly over days, please speak to your doctor before starting any new exercise routine. The same goes if you are noticing new weakness in your feet or legs, actual difficulty lifting your toes when you walk, or changes in coordination. Those symptoms can indicate something that needs immediate medical attention, not a bedtime stretching routine. The routine I am sharing today is designed for the slow, gradual, persistent type of neuropathy that builds over time and disrupts sleep on a regular basis. It is not a substitute for medical care. It is a complement to it. With that said, let us get started. The routine takes about 10 to 15 minutes. You do not need any special equipment. You do not need to buy anything. You need a chair, a bed, and something you probably have lying around your house. I am going to walk you through every step in detail because I want you to actually do this correctly tonight, not just understand it in theory. The difference between doing these movements correctly and doing them carelessly is significant. Done correctly, they can genuinely change how you sleep. Done carelessly, they might not help at all or might even cause unnecessary discomfort. Let us start with the first movement. And I want to say up front that this is the one that most videos about neuropathy skip entirely, which is honestly frustrating because it might be the single most important thing you can do before bed. We are going to talk about nerve gliding. Now, if you have never heard of nerve gliding before, do not worry. I am going to explain exactly what it is, why it works, and how to do it properly. Because once you understand this, it is going to make so much sense. Your nerves are not just stationary wires running through your body. They're living tissue and they move. Every time you bend your knee, extend your leg, flex your ankle, your nerves slide through tunnels of surrounding tissue. These tunnels are made up of muscle, connective tissue, and fascia. In a healthy body, the nerve glides smoothly through these tunnels with no friction, no resistance, no irritation. But when there is inflammation, when there is swelling, when there is tightness from sitting all day, those tunnels can become restricted. The nerve has less room to move. It gets compressed. And a compressed nerve is an angry nerve. Here's why this matters specifically for nighttime symptoms. During the day, you are moving around. Even if you are mostly sedentary, you are shifting in your chair, walking to the kitchen, standing up and sitting down. Those small movements naturally help maintain some degree of nerve mobility. But by the end of the day, after hours of sitting, after all the inflammation that builds up throughout the day, and right at the moment when your cortisol is dropping and your body is pushing warmth to your extremities, those nerve tunnels are at their most restricted. You lie down in bed and there is your nerve, already irritated, now compressed, with nothing to distract your brain from listening to it scream. Nerve gliding directly addresses this. By gently moving the nerve through its tunnel before you lie down, you are helping decompress it, reducing that compression, and giving it more room to breathe, so to speak, before you enter the nighttime hours when everything else is working against it. Here is how to do the first nerve glide. Sit on the edge of your bed or on a firm chair. Sit upright with good posture. Extend one leg out in front of you, keeping your heel resting on the floor. Now flex your foot so that your toes point up toward the ceiling. Keep your knee as straight as comfortable. Now here's the movement. Slowly lean your upper body forward from your hips. Not a deep stretch, just a gentle, easy lean, as if you are just tilting forward slightly. You should feel a very mild pulling sensation along the back of your leg, possibly into the back of your knee or your calf. Hold that position for just 2 seconds. Then sit back up and at the same time, point your toes away from you, toward the floor, so your foot is now in a pointed position. That is one complete nerve glide. The foot goes up when you lean forward. The foot goes down when you sit back up. That is the sequence. Do 10 of these glides on each leg. And subscribe to Healthify Hub if you have not already. Every video on this channel is built with the same care and intention as this one. Real information, real routines, things that work in real life for real people. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss one. This is Healthify Hub. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Sleep well tonight. You deserve it.